Hello, Kickstarter. Today for our fifth update, sorry about the mess up on what I called the last update, but this is our fifth episode of Kickstarter Updates. We'll be talking about vehicles in the Epic Worlds engine. This is something that really grabbed our attention, and we've really had a fun time putting together, and it's really quite a fun mechanic. In a lot of the other games that we played with, it seemed like vehicles and mounts were kind of they tended to go into one of two categories. Either the rules were really complex and kind of made big assumptions like, oh, well, everybody's going to be in a vehicle, or they ended up in another field of a whole lot of flavor text. It has this kind of an engine designation that requires this many tons of fuel and stuff like that. And then it didn't really give you any rules for how to work with that. It just kind of assumed that you'd reason your way through it. And that kind of made it not as fun to do to try to pull off these really fun vehicle conflicts. One of the things that we looked at, for example, as we put together vehicles, was in Advent Children, when they have the wonderful sword fight on the bikes that's way over the top, very unrealistic, and perfect if you're aiming for shonen-style gaming. But we looked at these things and we decided that we wanted to apply the same principles that we've applied to the entire system so far to vehicles. We wanted to make a simple, really universal rule set that could be used on everything from, say, a motorcycle or a horse to your giant starship cruiser, so that you weren't having to learn different rules and put together different things like that for it. We also wanted to try to make it so that many of the rules that you already know and are familiar with from playing the basic game carry over easily into the vehicles. Things like traits and the basic attributes and speed and things like that. And so the vehicle creation in our system is very similar and reminiscent to character creation. It has a few tweaks to it, including one where you actually get to build the structure of a vehicle, which if you're just wanting something simple like a motorcycle, isn't really a problem at all. If you're really wanting to sit down and make an amazing space cruiser, though, you get to plan out the floor plan, which is a great place that you can end up having boarding conflicts later. It's really nicely put together. The other thing with it being these vehicle rules was that we wanted to make it so that, first off, like I said, they were easy to pull over, that many of the rules just panned across everything. And also we wanted to make it so that it didn't feel like you either were doing some sort of a big vehicle conflict or you were being on foot. We wanted to make it so that, you know, if you're playing some sort of, say, a spy espionage battle, that your characters can seamlessly go from riding a motorcycle in combat to being on foot to jumping his motorcycle off over the tank, jumps off of his motorcycle, and now he's on foot trying to get a grenade thrown into the tank or something like that. It seamlessly goes back and forth between it without having to change up the rules at all. It doesn't stop the gameplay. And so these rules that we've put together, we've tested out with several different things. Ran into, interestingly, a bit of a predicament a little while ago with it. We had just finished up getting the vehicle rules working and we were really liking it. We thought, hey, we should try this out for mechs. And we realized that our system did not work for mechs. And so we started brainstorming again with my brilliant development partner who is behind the camera right now, Bryson. Wave, Bryson. Okay, he shook the camera close enough. But we put together one more mechanic that allows you to create these mechs that were able to have limbs, and these limbs could have hands or could have feet, things like that, and that from there it built into this new structure that didn't seem unfamiliar after having built a character. And it was a really cool setup. We've got some really fun things put together for that. The last thing that I wanted to touch on here, this one's going to be a little bit smaller of a developer episode, but one of the things that we've had for a while is this idea of squads. If you've played the Legends of Steel and Night adventure, you may have run into the additional squad rules. You'll only encounter a few there because it is just a demo. But we've got this system of squads put together so that you can spend your CP to perhaps buy underlings if you want them for, say, war campaigning or something like that. But at the same time, it's also very useful in case you're, for example, as a party buying a larger cruiser, and you're needing people to man certain stations on it. You're needing engineers or whatnot. You can buy these squads with the same character points that you're using to build your own characters. You can even pool your character points together to build a small, say, smuggler craft or something like that. And then, shoot, you know what? We just need a few guys to man the engines or to man the shields or something like that. And so you buy this small squad of troopers, or, sorry, I suppose they'd be engineers in that case. The squad rules are simple. They allow you to move the squad around during the conflicts to make sure that they're in the places that they need to be, and to man these vehicles so that it doesn't feel like you've got this huge cruiser and you have to write up 62 unique, fully fleshed out characters to run it. Sure, you can do that, but this makes it easier on you as the player to be able to enjoy these large-size campaigns that you can't really enjoy in a lot of other systems. We'll close with that. We want to thank you again for all of your support, and we'll see you next time.